The valedictory address will now be given by Lauren Robichaud. Lauren is a native of Holden, Massachusetts, and graduated with a major in accounting and a focus in fraud and forensic accounting. She also minored in French and received the 2020 Academic Honors Award in that field. She is currently completing her studies for her Master of Business Administration here at Assumption. During her time as an undergraduate at Assumption, Lauren served as the Vice President of the Marketing Enrichment Club and as a mentor in the Mentor Collective program. Additionally, she served as a tutor in French, accounting, economics, and finance with the Academic Support Center and interned at TJX Companies as a planning and allocation buying intern. After completing her MBA at Assumption, Lauren will return to TJX, where she has interned, to serve in a full-time capacity. It is my great pleasure to present the valedictorian for the Assumption College Class of 2020, Ms. Lauren Robichaud.
President Cesareo, Your Excellency, Bishop McManus, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, family, and friends of the graduates, whether present here today at the DCU or joining through live stream, welcome and thank you for joining in this celebratory event. And to my fellow members of the class of 2020, congratulations. The Ptolemaic kings sponsored the construction of the first known lighthouse on the island of Pharos, outside of the harbors of Alexandria, Egypt, around 280 BCE. Despite the tremendous passage of time and the development of new technologies, we still rely on lighthouses as a navigational tool. Captains and crews turn to lighthouses when they are at sea, surrounded by vast darkness and the unknown. In spite of unforgiving weather and the relentless wrath of the ocean tides, lighthouses stand tall, sturdy, and unwavering, the epitome of strength and an enduring symbol. There is no doubt that in these unprecedented times, we too have become overwhelmed by the sensation of being surrounded by vast darkness and the unknown, much like those voyagers lost at sea. However, class of 2020, as we continue the next stage of our lives amidst the uncertainty of the times, I ask that we not forget the foundation that Assumption College helped us to forge. I ask that we begin by suspending our urge to look for a lighthouse on the horizon to provide guiding light, and instead challenge ourselves to become that light. I ask that we return to the mantra of Assumption, light the way, and call upon the qualities instilled in us throughout our education, the means to light the way for ourselves and for all those who surround us. Much like a lighthouse is composed of three integral parts, the lighthouse foundation and tower structure, the watch room, and the lantern room, our Assumption education challenged us to become members of society who have developed and refined three main aspects of our being: thoughtful citizenship, critical intelligence, and compassionate service. The first component of a lighthouse is the foundation and the attached tower structure. This component is arguably most critical to the structure, as it must be solid enough to bear the weight of all that rests above. The foundation of the lighthouse mirrors closely what thoughtful citizenship is to our Assumption education. When thinking of what comprises a thoughtful citizen, one's character comes most consciously to mind. Our character encompasses all of the mental and moral qualities that are distinct to us as individuals, that we have been challenged to intensify over our 4 years at Assumption. In everything we do, whether it be schoolwork, service, or athletics, our Assumption education has guided us in developing a formidable character marked by humility, honesty, integrity, tolerance, and moral courage. As St. Augustine once stated, "Do you wish to be great? Then begin by being. Do you desire to construct a vast and lofty fabric? Think first about the foundations of humility. The higher your structure is to be, the deeper must be its foundation." Our character is the fundamental principle on which our entire being is based, and we therefore must strive each and every day to keep our character intact and to keep our foundation strong and fortified. Often there will be tremendous weight pushing down on us that we must bear, and it is in these times that the character that Assumption has cultivated within us will serve as our stronghold. Above the foundational tower structure of a lighthouse stands the watch room. This room is where lightkeepers once stood watch to ensure that the lanterns never burnt out. As graduates of Assumption, we must seek to perform a task similar to that of the lightkeeper in the watch room by utilizing our critical intelligence to ensure that we are constantly protecting the light. Aristotle once proclaimed, "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." We have been tasked as students with developing the cognitive domain of our minds, but also tasked with developing our hearts through our education. We have been strengthened cognitively by obtaining a vast array of knowledge in which we may refer to in order to base our decisions and through developing immense reasoning and analytical skills. However, we have also greatly augmented the affective domains of our minds through our Assumption education. We have been challenged in all of our courses to make decisions based on the ideas of acceptance and tolerance, to grapple with the concepts of wrong and right and good versus evil, and to involve our character and our conscience in every facet of our learning. We have acquired the ability to utilize our studies and a critical evaluation of facts to develop sound arguments and make our own judgments. And we have had instilled within us the desire to search for truth in every discipline of study and now in every aspect of our lives. The knowledge we built in our 4 years at Assumption is a critical component in our ability to protect the light and to be the light ourselves. Whenever the light may falter, we must fiercely combat the injustice that threatens darkness and use our critical intelligence of the mind and heart to stand up for what we believe is just. The final structural component of a lighthouse is the lantern room, where the lighthouse beacon is located. The lantern room is the most prominent feature of a lighthouse, as it allows for the light to be seen by travelers both far and wide. Just as the lantern room is the most striking feature of a lighthouse, compassionate service is the most unmistakable element of an Assumption education. We epitomize the thinking of Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th Dalai Lama, who stated, "It is not enough to be compassionate, you must act." Collectively, we recognize the need to possess concern for the sufferings and misfortunes of others, and we also recognize that merely maintaining concern is not enough on its own. Our regard for others must be married to our desire to serve. Whether our community service be through athletic teams, community service learning classes, send trips, the Reach Out Center, or other such organizations, we already began during our time at Assumption to light the way together. As we continue the next stage in our lives, it will be imperative that we continue to let our beacons gleam with service for others. Class of 2020, we have faced incredible uncertainty in this past year, and we may sometimes feel that we have lost our way and are traveling into the dark unknown as we attempt to navigate a new stage of our lives following the conclusion of our undergraduate studies. When it feels like all around us is uncharted sea, we can take refuge in the person that Assumption has aided each and every one of us in becoming. Much like the three-part composition of a lighthouse allows for it to deliver light to all those in its path, our Assumption education has provided us with the means to become the light ourselves. As Christ teaches in the 5th chapter of Matthew, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hid, nor do men light a lamp and put it under a bushel, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house." May we never forget our ability to be a light for all to see, and our mission as Assumption graduates to bring light into the world and to inspire others to attain to this same ambition. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. It is my pleasure to introduce